What's up, everybody? This is Varsity Live. My name is Jay Skrinky. I'll be your host tonight. Got a lot of interesting stuff coming at you this evening. In terms of high school sports, we got Mountain View and Horizon, Dobson and Camelback, Brophy and Regis DeSuet. And also, we got some Las Vegas coming at you. And also, ASU has a new quarterback. We'll hear about that also. Without further ado, I guess we'll get this thing rolling. We have a great time here tonight. Start us off. Olivia will come on first. She's going to summarize ASU's new QB this season. He looked really good in week 1. We'll see what he does tomorrow against Mississippi State. We'll go into a commercial first, though.
Pickett here at Varsity Sports, reporting to you on Kay Phillips, Hightower's defensive back.
In a major decision for his athletic career, Kay Phillips, who received offers from prestigious programs such as University of Houston, Michigan University, and has officially committed to Louisiana State University. Now let's hear directly from Kay Phillips as he shares his thoughts from his recent visit to LSU.
I felt all the love from the coaches, even from the players on the team, and being able to be coached by Coach Raymond was one of the big things, seeing what he's produced and put in the league.
Let's dive into the numbers as we take a look at Cade Phillips' impressive football stats.
Junior year 2022 through 2023 tackle stats. The total goal difference for that year was 12. The number of unassisted tackles was 41. Tackle guard 3.4. Senior year 2023 through 2024 tackles stats. The total goal difference is 4. Unassisted tackles 22 in total.
Stay tuned as we take a closer look at Cade's playing style on the field and what makes him stand out among his peers.
I would describe my playing style on the field as someone who likes to press and be physical and man-to-man, but also a guy that can play zone, just read the quarterback side and go get the ball. When I hear football, I just hear fun, really.
Closing out on tonight's spotlight on high school football, Hightower's defensive back, Cade Phillips. As the season progresses, all eyes will be on Cade Phillips as he leads Hightower defensive team with unmatched determination and skill. With Varsity Sports, I'm Kaylin Pickett reporting.
Cade Phillips looks like defensive back that can make that huge play every time. Coming on first, we'll have Olivia, and then we'll hear about the new ASU QB with her. And then we'll have Paisley Poole give us the rundown at Mountain View. And then in a few, here is Olivia. ASU has a transfer. Let's hear about it.
Yeah, Jay, so ASU football is off to a really hot start this season after winning their first Big 12 match against Wyoming. One of the top contributors in that match, the 41-point victory, was redshirt freshman quarterback Sam Levitt, who is a transfer from Michigan State and the number 1 quarterback in the state of Oregon. He really ran his offense strategically throughout the whole entire night and really showed off his incredible throwing arm by throwing for 258 passing yards and assisting with 2 touchdowns. As I was watching the film, I really noticed that he likes to fake handing the ball to his running back and then throw it to a wide receiver, which gives him time to find the gap in the opponent's defense. That really shows his ability to, play smart and stay true to being a leader on that offensive line. I saw in an interview with Coach Kenny Dillingham, he was really impressed by his gameplay on Saturday, and he stated that the Sun Devils are planning on playing aggressive with him and not scared. The talent that is brought to this roster by Levitt is really what they needed to get the ball rolling, especially coming off of a 3-9 season last year. So we could definitely expect Levitt to turn around some things for the Devils and do great things this year.
So We all know tomorrow's a huge game. ASU's never beat an SEC opponent. What's your prediction? What do you think he's going to do tomorrow?
I think he's just going to go out with a lot of confidence, just like he did on last Saturday night. And I just think he's going to, obviously with the praise that he's gotten from this last week and his performance, I think that's going to really fire him up. And hopefully the attendance from the fans will really show out and, get him hyped up. I think he's going to do some great things for not only this coming Saturday night, but for the Sun Devils and throughout their whole entire season.
Thank you so much, Olivia, and have a great time.
Thanks.
All right, that was Olivia Prickett with the new ASU transfer QB, Sam Levitt. Had a great week 1 start for ASU. Got the win against Wyoming. We'll see what he does tomorrow against Mississippi State. Hopefully they can get that first SEC victory. And next on our agenda is Paisley Poole, who's out at Mountain View. So she currently is not here. So let's just go to a quick commercial.
Hello everyone, I am Mason Byers and I'm a student at Arizona State University and I'm reporting for the Varsity Sports Show. With college football being back and better than ever, I'm going to be talking about Dylan Raiola and how he hopes to make Nebraska a great college football team once again. Raiola is a true freshman quarterback who was originally committed to the Georgia Bulldogs, but then late last year he flipped his commitment to the Nebraska Cornhuskers. With Georgia already having multiple quarterbacks on the roster, Raiola and the Cornhuskers had a mutual interest to help turn the program around. The Cornhuskers have struggled over the last decade, with multiple losing seasons, and their last winning season was in 2016. Head coach Matt Rule is in his second year at the program and is hoping to turn this program around with the help of the young quarterback. Raiola impressed during training camp, and it was no question whether or not he was going to get the nod to be the starting quarterback on the opening week roster. Raiola impressed and performed amazing in his very first college game. He threw 19 of 27 and threw for 238 passing yards and 2 passing touchdowns. This impressive first start for the true freshman helped Nebraska win 40-7 over UTEP. And if they're going to have any chance of competing in the very competitive Big Ten Conference, Dylan Raiola will need to keep performing like this. Matt Rule and the rest of the program hopes Raiola is the answer to the problems they've had recently, and then hopefully they can be in bowl games very soon and even compete for a Big Ten championship. With the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Mason Byers.
This is Maya Hall with the Varsity Sports Show on Arizona High School Cheer. As football season starts, the real work begins. Most competitive team sports receive 3 months of games and matches to determine state qualification, as cheer gets a one-and-done performance to advance. The cheerleader's job during football season is ultimately to cheer on their teams and reel in the crowd, but they also have their agenda to rep those skills in their routine. Arizona high school cheerleading teams have been and will continue to work for the Spirit Line State Champions hardware. Arizona Veterans Memorial Coliseum is predicted to host the AIA Championship on January 16th to 18th of 2025. Red Mountain High School humbly took the D1 gold last season, and it would be nice to see them as back-to-back champions in 2025. In the D2 division, Cactus Shadows is working diligently to redeem themselves of second place and win their 15th title this year. Santan Foothills in D3 is looking for redemption as well, while North Valley Christian is looking to keep their place at the top of D4. Keep working hard at practice and on the sideline. Good luck to all.
We're back. Interesting to see Dylan Raiola in there. I'm so excited to actually watch him play. Everyone's been calling him Patrick Mahomes Jr., obviously, with his looks, but his play on the field is actually really impressive to watch. He'll be going against a very stacked team in the Colorado Buffalo. their offense looks really good. Also, Shadur Sanders is a playmaker, as is Travis Hunter. If he gets the ball, he's literally a threat to score every single time he touches the ball. It's actually incredible. And he plays both ways. He plays DB also on defense. I think last week he played just north of 120 snaps. It's incredible. Maybe by like week 3 or 4, they might have to slow him down on that. It'll just work him to death. Looks like Paisley is not here yet, so we'll just run another commercial real quick. We'll be back.
Olivia Prickett with Varsity Sports with a season preview on high school flag football in Arizona. From traditional powder puff matches to recognizing girls flag football as a high school sport in 2013, Arizona possesses more than 100 flag football teams throughout the state. 3 teams to keep an eye on this season are the Xavier Prep Gators, the Mountain View Toros, and the Castile Colts. Starting with the Xavier Prep Gators, who had a young roster last season, went 8-4 and finished 2nd in 6A East Valley and 7th in 6A rankings overall. Although their run to win the state championship was cut short when they lost just short of 1 point to Red Mountain, the squad is going to come back eager to finish where they left off and continue their success throughout the season. The Gators play the Hamilton Huskies on September 17th at 7 p.m. at home. The Mountain View Toros had a successful season last year, ranking 2nd in 6A Fiesta and 9th in 6A overall. With an overall record of 9-3, the Toros were led to compete in the state championship, where they held their own throughout and won the title on home ground against Mountain Ridge. Coming off of a championship win will fuel the Toros and motivate them to make it far again this season, starting with their first away game against the Eastmark Firebirds at 6 p.m. on September 17th. Lastly, the Castile Colts didn't exactly get the outcome they were hoping for, going 2-10 overall and ranking 18th in 6A. As the 2024 season is set to start in less than a month, the Colts have their eyes set on a successful run, looking to beat big competitors in their league, the Chandler Wolves and the Hamilton Huskies. It all starts with their first home game match of the season against the Gilbert Tigers on September 17th at 6 p.m. With competition right around the corner, each team still has plenty of time to prepare for what the 2024 season brings. With Varsity Sports, I'm Olivia Prickett.
Next, we'll go to Riley Garcia, who's out at Horizon. Horizon will be playing Mountain View tonight. How you doing, Riley?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Really good. How's it going out there? What's it looking like?
Well, game time is about approximately 46 minutes away. And there are a couple of things I think we should probably mention about Horizon High School, the Huskies, as they get ready to take on Mountain View here. So right now, with game time just coming up here in just a couple moments now, the Horizon High School had ended up defeating Canyon View by a final score of 48-8 last week. This week they will look to carry that momentum over, and I think it's definitely going to be an exciting matchup to see. It's going to be exciting to see if they can carry that over. Also, Bodie Zamorano scored 3 touchdowns last week, so it's definitely going to be exciting to see if he can continue that momentum into this week. He was last week's player of the game for them, so I think he's going to be a player to watch for today and probably for the rest of the season as well.
What's your prediction for tonight? How do you think it's going to go?
I think this is going to be a very good game. I don't know exactly score-wise, but I think I can tell you from what I've been seeing here on the sideline, Horizon looks ready to play for their first home game of the season. They look ready right now.
I see. Thank you so much, Riley.
Thank you.
Have a fun time out there. That was Riley Garcia with Horizon versus Mountain View. And we'll go to a quick commercial.
I'm Julia Coyne with the Varsity Sports Show. Arizona State started out strong in their first Big 12 game against Wyoming last Saturday to beat the Cowboys 48-7. Within the first minute of the game, the Sun Devils defense picked off the ball and ran in for their first touchdown. Throughout the game, the Sun Devils dominated offensively and defensively. Arizona State's new transfer quarterback from Michigan State, Sam Leavitt, had an impressive first game with the Sun Devils. He threw 2 touchdowns with a total of 288 passing yards. Leavitt threw a 68-yard pass in the third quarter to put the Sun Devils up 48-0. They had a total of 499 yards, whereas the Cowboys were held to 118 yards the entire game. Cameron Scataboo was back with 11 carries in the game to have the most rushing yards. Kyson Brown had a total of 73 receiving yards on 2 catches. Wyoming was able to score 1 touchdown in the fourth quarter to make the score 48-7. In the final drive of the game, Dillingham put walk-on Kiana Pete in the game to carry 1 yard while his basketball star brother, Koa Pete, was on his official visit for Sun Devil basketball. The Sun Devils had an extremely impressive performance and will play at home next week against Mississippi State. Mississippi State defeated Eastern Kentucky 56-7 in their game last week. It's going to be an exciting year for the Sun Devils. With Varsity Sports, I'm Julia Coyne.
Being an ASU student, I'm actually really excited for that matchup tomorrow. Being a little biased on this one, but I really hope ASU wins. They've never beaten an SEC opponent before. And being my third year at ASU, we haven't had a ton to cheer about in terms of football, but after watching last week, it really got me excited to watch that game tomorrow, and it's going to be really loud. Kenny Dillingham, I was already tweeting earlier this week, he wanted everybody to show up. He even wanted to enroll a couple more. I think he said like 13 students just to break that record of attendance at an ASU game. But I really hope that Sam Leavitt goes out there and plays like he did last week, calm, easy passes to start the game. Cam Scatabo's obviously, he's a beast. He's going to do his thing. But I'm really excited for tomorrow. And with that, we'll go to another commercial.
This is Saleh Awad from Arizona State University, reporting for the Varsity Sports Show. With high school football officially upon us, Flagstaff's own Coconino Panthers' varsity team looks to make a deep playoff run in the 4A this season. Their year kicks off this week, and the Panthers will attempt to capitalize on a successful 2023 season. The team finished last season with a 7-4 record before being eliminated 23-20 by Arcadia in the 4A playoffs. Despite having a 2-4 away record last season, the Panthers went undefeated on their home field and will look to keep that momentum into this season. Coconino's lead rusher last season, Bridger French, graduated after a groundbreaking year where he finished with 1,673 rushing yards and 26 rushing touchdowns in just 11 games played. While French's departure will be a significant loss for the team, senior Fernando Ramirez will look to fill that spot and keep Coconino's dominant rushing attack intact. Panthers head coach Gary Cook, who has almost 30 years of coaching experience both in Arizona and in Michigan, will attempt to get this program a 4A championship this season. The Varsity Sports Show, this is Saleh Awad reporting.
While we're waiting for some other people to come on, I thought I would do just a quick NFL score update. Obviously, last night we had our first game of the season, Thursday night game. It was the Ravens going into Arrowhead to face the Chiefs. It's a great game. I think Xavier Worthy was the player of the game. Nobody really thought I guess not nobody. I didn't think he would do very much, but he had 2 really explosive touchdowns, a 21-yard rush around the corner, and then a 35-yard catch at the end of the game. It was a great game to watch. Isaiah Likely had a huge game at tight end. I think some Mark Andrew fantasy guys were kind of kicking themselves a little bit on that one, but Isaiah looked really good in that game. He had a touchdown, and then on the very last play of the game, it looked like he had a second touchdown to possibly send it to overtime, but his foot was out of bounds by just an inch. It was just a really good game last night. And then tonight, actually going on right now in Brazil, is the Packers and the Eagles. Looks like a pretty good defensive battle right now. The Packers just scored to go up 12-7, and the Eagles have the ball again right now. About halfway through the second quarter, it's 12-7, and kind of excited for this Packers team. They look pretty good. Their defense is pretty stacked. They're giving Jalen Hurts some trouble right now, but well, with that, we'll go to another commercial.
Varsity Sports Show. I'm Quentin Presley from Arizona State University, and today I have some Arizona Cardinal players that will make for some great point production in any fantasy football league. If you want to rep the Valley and still stay competitive, these are the players to look out for. Let's get right into it. Starting off with the most promising player on this list, we have 4th overall pick Marvin Harrison Jr. The Cardinals' new wide receiver 1 is going to be a very interesting player, especially in fantasy, where he's ranked 11th out of all receivers. If you have a chance to pick him up via trade, it might be worth it. Second, I have third-year tight end Trey McBride. Since there are not a ton of great options at tight end, McBride carries a lot of value, especially coming off of his 8 hot game stretch last year where he got 5 end zone looks and caught 4 of them for tutties. With Kyler Murray expecting to have a comeback year, number 85 in red will be a great option. Lastly, and at best value, I believe wholeheartedly that Kyler Murray is going to be a monster this upcoming season. Already, he's a 7th-ranked QB in fantasy, and he's coming off of an injury-riddled year. His running ability, mixed with his offensive weapons at his arsenal, make him a great general to slot in at your quarterback. That's it for this time. For those of you who are running fantasy football teams, make sure to set those lineups and stay hungry on the waiver wire. For Varsity Sports, I'm Quentin Presley. I'll catch you next time.
That was a sweet catch, man. Marvin Harrison looks really good. Pairing him up with Kyler can be really dangerous. I actually picked the Bills to defeat the Cardinals this week. That's a tough matchup for the Cardinals going into Buffalo week 1. We'll see how it goes. I think the Cardinals can definitely keep up with them for sure, but we'll see. The Bills have a high-powered offense, and Cardinals are still trying to figure that out, but we'll see on that one. Marvin looks really good. That offense could be really scary. If their offensive line could figure their stuff out, Kyler could be dangerous with Marvin running down the sideline. I didn't talk about the touchdowns in the game that just happened. Saquon, the newest Eagle, just scored his first touchdown. Kind of exciting for that fan base. That was a huge offseason pickup for them. And I just saw the first tush push of the year, or brotherly shove as they call it. And I don't think it worked, actually. They'll probably run it again. But anyway, Saquon, his first touchdown of the year. Exciting stuff for Eagles fans. And we'll roll another commercial.
Hello everyone, I am Mason Byers and I'm a student at Arizona State University, and I'm reporting for the Varsity Sports Show. With college football being back and better than ever, I'm going to have to be talking about Dylan Raiola and how he hopes to make Nebraska a great college football team once again. Raiola is a true freshman quarterback who was originally committed to the Georgia Bulldogs, but then late last year he flipped his commitment to the Nebraska Cornhuskers. With Georgia already having multiple quarterbacks on the roster, Raiola and the Cornhuskers had a mutual interest to help turn the program around. The Cornhuskers have struggled over the last decade, with multiple losing seasons, and their last winning season was in 2016. Head coach Matt Rule is in his second year at the program and is hoping to turn this program around with the help of the young quarterback. Raiola impressed during training camp, and it was no question whether or not he was going to get the nod to be the starting quarterback on the opening week roster. Raiola impressed and performed amazing in his very first college game. He threw 19 of 27 and threw for 238 passing yards and 2 passing touchdowns. This impressive first start for the true freshman helped Nebraska win 40-7 over UTEP. And if they're going to have any chance of competing in the very competitive Big Ten Conference, Dylan Raiola will need to keep performing like this. Matt Rule and the rest of the program hopes Raiola is the answer to the problems they've had recently, and then hopefully they can be in bowl games very soon and even compete for a Big Ten championship. With the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Mason Byers.
I'm so excited for college football, man. Last week was so much fun starting it off. This week, the big noon game is probably the game of the day, honestly. I don't really know why they do that. They should play those games a little bit later, but this week, the big noon game, 9 a.m. here, 12 Eastern, Texas going into the big house to face Michigan. That's going to be a great game. Quinn Ewers with their new transfer, Isaiah Bond from Alabama. He's really good. They got a crazy offense. And then Donovan Edwards from Michigan. Their offense looked kind of, I don't know, it just wasn't really there last week against Fresno State. They kind of crawled away later with that pick 6, but Fresno kind of kept that a game. I don't know. I didn't really like their offense. Their defense obviously kept 3 of its best players. So they're going to be really good. That's going to be a great game. I think Texas wins on the road in the big house. That's really hard to do, but it's going to be a close game, but I think Texas wins that game. And then we got Arkansas going into Oklahoma State. That's a great game. Boise State transfer Taylon Green. I wasn't a huge fan of him at Boise State, but he's so big and so fast. I think he's like 6'6", and he can run like a 4.4 40. He's crazy fast, super athletic kid, can throw the ball a ton. Oklahoma State's favored, obviously, and I think they get the win on that one. Iowa State, Iowa. We all know Iowa. Super big defensive team. They gave up 0 points last week, obviously, but they actually scored points too, which is not like them. I think they scored 40 points last week, which is not an Iowa thing to do. They routed that team. And this week they got Iowa State, the in-state rival, at home. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, probably like a 13-7 game. But I got Iowa in that one. Later in the day, Tennessee, NC State. Tennessee looked really good last week. I got them going into NC State and winning that game. And then my biased self, I'm a Boise State fan. They're going into Oregon. Huge game. Ashton Genty looked crazy last week. He had 267 rush yards and 6 touchdowns, along with true freshman 17-year-old Sire Gaines getting 2 touchdowns. That backfield is crazy, and their second running back didn't even play. Jembrys Dubar. That team is good, but they gave up 43 points to Georgia Southern. We'll see what Dylan Gabriel for Oregon, see what he does with that. Hopefully Boise State figure that out, but I'm just hoping they keep that a game. Autzen Stadium's a hard place to play. We'll see. That's going to be a great game. And then obviously 7:30, ASU, baby. We'll be there, forks up. And we'll go to commercial one more time.
Hello, Varsity Sports Show listeners. I'm Roman Martinez from Arizona State University, and I've got some exciting news straight from the college football scene. Former University of Texas quarterback Malik Murphy earned his first career win for his new school, Duke University. The UT transfer was recently named the starting quarterback after former QB Riley Leonard transferred to Notre Dame as a replacement for Sam Hartman, who is now in the NFL. With Murphy set to take the reins and lead Duke onto the gridiron this season, he shined in his debut. Malik had an impressive debut, scoring a solid 26-3 victory over Elon. Despite the lack of competition, the young playmaker led the offense effectively. He completed 21 of 35 passes for 278 yards and 2 touchdowns. Demonstrating both poise and precision, notably Murphy was well protected by his offensive line, who, by the way, didn't allow a single sack, enabling him to take several deep shots down the field for completions. Standing at 6'5" and weighing in at 230 pounds, Murphy is a formidable presence on the field. His combination of size, speed, and football IQ makes him a perfect fit for Duke's fast-paced offense. Fans are eager to see how he'll adapt to ACC play and lead his team against some of the toppest in-conference competition in college football. Thanks for listening, and go Varsity!
Jaden Reed just had a huge touchdown for the Packers. That's number 2 for him tonight. Also, we missed Saquon Barkley. He had his second touchdown of the night. Also, the newest Eagle. He has a receiving and a rushing touchdown. Green Bay just scored to go ahead by 4 with 5 minutes left in the second quarter. Take a look at some of the NFL games this week. First, we got the Panthers and the Saints. Kind of a matchup. I'm a Saints fan, so at home in the Dome, I like the Saints. Panthers just not a great team overall. Bryce Young still trying to learn a little bit, coming into his second season. I got the Saints in that one. Cardinals, Bills. Obviously, I already told you that one. I got the Bills. That's a long way to travel for the Cardinals, and I just think their offense is too good for the Cardinals' defense. So I got the Bills in that one. Patriots, Bengals. Joe Burrow, he's so good, and we've been hearing about this Jamar Chase holdout stuff for the last, couple weeks, maybe a month now. It sounds like he's going to play, even if he doesn't get a contract, but it's one of those deals kind of lingers over your head, kind of a weird deal going on there. We'll see what happens with that. Also, T. Higgins is probably not going to play, so the wide receiving core is a little weird right now, but they're still going to beat the Patriots. Vikings, Giants. Daniel Jones is just not it for me, but Vikings don't really have a QB either. That's just kind of a yucky matchup in my opinion. I'll just go with the home team on that one, the Giants. Titans, Bears, we get to see Caleb Williams finally in his honestly stacked wide receiving core. He's got Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze. Oh, man. DJ Moore, they just signed. Huge wide receiving core there. I got the Bears winning that one. Caleb's going to win his opener. Steelers at the Falcons. Kirk Cousins, his first start as a Falcon with Bijan and Drake London. That offense looks pretty good. Honestly, they're a pretty well-rounded team. Not too bad. They'll have a chance to win the NFC South. It's probably the worst division in the NFL, to be honest with you, but I got the Falcons winning that one. Jaguars and the Dolphins. Dolphins offense should be crazy good again. Scored tons of points every game. I do like the Jaguars, though. Trevor Lawrence, not a lot of people like Trevor Lawrence, but I like Trevor Lawrence. He's a good player. Christian Kirk. I like that team. But Dolphins at home, I got to go with the Dolphins on that one. Texans and Colts. CJ Stroud versus AR-15. I like that matchup. That's a lot of fun. But I like the Texans receiving core. Tank Dell, he's really good. Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs, the newest addition to that receiving core. I'm going to go with the Texans to go into Indy and win that one. Raiders and Chargers. Another kind of matchup for me. I'm going to take the Chargers on that one. I like Justin Herbert. He's a good quarterback, but not a great matchup. Broncos and Seahawks. Obviously, Bo Nix's first start in the NFL. We'll see how that goes. I don't see him going into the 12th man, the Legion of Boom, all that stuff. I don't see him getting a victory. Geno Smith's going to lead the Seahawks to the win on that one. Cowboys and the Browns. The Browns are actually favored in this game, which I know it's in Cleveland, but I don't really agree with that. I think the Cowboys are a good team, well-rounded team, good defense, good offense. I got the Cowboys going into Cleveland and winning that game. And then the Commanders at the Bucks. Again, the Bucks, obviously a chance. Baker Mayfield coming back. He had a pretty good season last year, honestly. It's kind of a revival season for him. I got them winning that game. They obviously have a chance to win the NFC South also. It's kind of a three-team race. See who can be 9-8 again. Bucks, Falcons, or Saints. I got the Bucks winning that game. And then Sunday night, Rams at the Lions. I like that matchup. Dan Campbell versus Sean McVay. I like that. The Lions are very good this year. I got the Lions winning that game at home. And then Monday night, we got the return of Aaron Rodgers. See if he lasts more than 3 plays this time. He's going into Levi Stadium to play the 49ers. Tough place to play. It's a very, 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 very good team. I got the 49ers winning that. With that, those were my predictions for the NFL this week. And I don't think Paisley and James are going to show up. So that will conclude Varsity Live pregame. I was your host, Jay Skrinky, and thank you for watching.